Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Renson and Revenant here on Desert Oasis. Revenant spawning on the south side of the map as the green Zerg, meanwhile Renson spawning on the north side of the map as the blue Protoss. Desert Oasis is one of those maps where I think after the addition of these destructible rocks, this map has really become more of a Protoss map just because of proxy pylons, proxy cannon rushes, proxy void rays. All of those options are very large for the Protoss player. So Protoss now just pretty much doing a standard build. Most likely will be throwing down a 10 pylon here in just a moment. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Meanwhile, Revenant now moving out with this one Overlord will be able to gain some sight into the base very quickly, and then after he gains into the sight into the base of Renson, should know if there's any cheese play or not. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. It looks like the sun just completely melted away, or that beetle just randomly exploded. So yeah, random beetle explosion. As we now have a probe finally moving out, we'll be able to activate this Naga Watchtower. The walking distances between these two locations is now very far just because of the addition of these rocks down here and these rocks over here. So it will take quite some time for this probe to make its way over. However, now a drone making its way over here and is going most likely hiding himself behind the mineral patch, knowing that a probe is going to be coming in, and then perhaps is going to throw down a hatchery in just a moment. We do see that the probe now wandering around on the inside here notices that there is no spawning pool, so Revenant going for a 16 spawning pool before, 16 hatchery before spawning pool, and this will give him a very large economic lead. We'll see how Renson responds to this, and Renson going to respond by throwing down a pylon and not throwing down a gateway. So what this means is Renson will be able to put a lot of pressure with early zealots. We do see one probe coming around over here, wandering around this hatchery. Wandering around, and does see this hatchery has now been laid down, and one Overlord now making its way flying over by this gateway. This gateway will be completed in a matter of seconds, and now most likely another gateway will be placed down. Actually, no gateway. It looks as though Renson going to respond with an expansion of his own instead, and Renson going to throw down an 18 Nexus. So an 18 Nexus coming in from Renson. I thought he was going to put some pressure with that gateway. I agree with Renson trying to keep up with the expansions, just because the walking distance between these two locations is so far. Revenant now getting the spawning pool down over here. We'll be able to start creating queens in just a moment. Revenant now sitting on 16 harvesters versus 19 harvesters for Renson. Renson using that chrono boost, actually not really using that chrono boost, has a lot of it saved up at this stage in the game. He may try to start chrono boosting in just a moment, or try to chrono boost out of this gateway in just a moment, as now a drone making its way in. The drone did in fact see that there is an expansion here. So Renson, with an expansion of his own, Revenant realizes that he's no longer that far in the economic gain. He needs to get some additional queens as well. Taking a look at the production tab, we do see 2 queens now being trained with an additional extractor being built over here. So an extractor played by Revenant in order to deny 1 gas off of Renson. But I do not quite agree with this, just because Renson has 2 additional Vespene geysers here and here. I don't know why he wanted to try to gas lock his opponent. The gas locking really only works when your opponent needs this gas right here, and this gas is not needed all that much. This one zealot will be able to slash its way through this one extractor already down to 300 some odd hit points. This one probe very smart in trying to pull away at just the right moment. However, these Zerglings not giving chase anymore, so this probe will be able to say wee all the way home. Now back over here, we now see some probes coming off the main base, now saturating the secondary expansion as well. More and more probes now being chrono boosted as well out of this expansion. The extractor will get taken down. And now what is going to happen? Revenant may need to try to go for Mutalisks. As a Zerg player, Mutalisks are very strong, especially against Protoss. Protoss have a very difficult time trying to deal with Mutalisks. Storm and Phoenixes are really the only way to go, but once you hit critical mass on those Mutalisks are really able to outmaneuver those Storms. Your Storm have to be absolutely perfect, and you got to remember that Storming Mutalisks is fairly difficult because you got a Storm underneath the unit in order for any damage to be dealt. Some drones now making their way across the map. We may get an expansion over here towards this high yield mineral location as well. Back over here, we still have some Overlords just hanging out over here, and now another gateway being laid down by Renson. So Renson currently with 2 gateways, and with that Cybernetics core coming into play as well, we may see Phoenixes or Stargates in just a moment. Zerglings now pecking away at this one set of destructible rocks. Not quite sure why. This one zealot will be able to come over here and start slashing through them in just a moment. Yeah, there we go. One zealot with one free kill. And now chasing after that last zealot over there. Now we do see one probe coming in from Renson. So Renson wanting to do some additional scouting. One queen over here may come in and be able to slash this. No, the probe able to get free sight. And now in comes the queen now. So the queen able to get off 3 hits, maybe 4 hits. Drones now being transferred over. Queen now caught off of creep with a movement speed of 0.94. And now continuing to move around the map. We do have an upgrade to tier 2. And Revenant now getting a lot of gas. What needs to happen though, a lot of minerals, needs to get those additional extractors up. Otherwise, it's going to become very, very obvious that all he's going for is Hydralisk. We do see another expansion here. So Revenant, the longer this game goes, the better it will be for him, just because of the number of bases that he's trying to take. Both players just playing Sim StarCraft right now. Army-wise, both sides fairly small, 400 versus 50. Renson also getting a photon cannon here and here. Most likely these rocks need to be needing to be taken down, as this place is so well fortified. We do see some zealots, one photon cannon here, and now those Zerglings now going to make their way off to that north side as well, perhaps try to take down some of these rocks. One photon cannon even right here would do a number in preventing these rocks from going down. So these rocks now down to 1900 hit points will slowly get pecked away. One zealot on the high ground, unable to do anything about that, as now Renson doing a great job of just continually scouting around the map, trying to make sure that he knows what exactly is happening. We do see Renson coming in, able to activate that Zelnaga watchtower, and now sees that there is a hatchery here. We do see some stalkers now being warped in here, so stalkers now taking their time warping in and now able to shoo away the rest of those stalkers, and now one photon cannon coming into position. So Renson has a great amount of control on this map with this 900 mineral army, making sure that his backdoor is very well protected. One overlord here, making sure that no funny business is coming here. However, one Zergling will get taken down by a group of stalkers and zealots if it doesn't pull out in time. And yeah, that one Zergling will get shot down, able to deal 5 points of damage to a stalker. And that is it. We do see the Hydralisk then now come in. And are we going to get a Roach Warren as well? Hydralisk and Roaches would be a decent combination. However, all I see right now is Hydralisk and an Infestation Pit. So it does not look like any Roaches will be joining in on this fight. Those Roaches with that base armor of 1 really reduce the amount of damage. And Zergling's not going to try to come in and get us around here, able to peck away a little bit more. Stalkers with that range of 6 though, able to deal some damage, as now one Queen coming in over as well. Zergling's now trying to come in and swarm around the rest of these Stalkers. One Spine Crawler here at an expansion, not enough to protect it. One Queen versus one Zealot. Force fields coming in, and now Renson is going to be able to deny this expansion. So Revenant overexposing himself here, unable to really do anything, as we now finally have Hydralisk. These creep tumors are really a little late, or very late, in enabling these Hydralisks to get that additional movement speed. Not exactly sure why these drones are now coming in. Now going to start picking off some of these Stalkers. So Stalkers now taking some damage as well. 4 Stalkers able to pick off 4, and now even more Hydralisks coming from the back. So really nicely done. More and more units getting picked off. Will that Zealot be able to make it away? Yeah, he will be able to make it away. Additional Queen being laid down here, or being built here. So Revenant taking his time, waiting for Hydralisk to spawn here, or sorry, at the main base, and then attacked very, very well with a decent amount of Hydralisk all of a sudden. So 12 Hydralisk all of a sudden spawning in just the right moment and able to push that attack back. We do see that the Hydralisks are not upgraded at all. They do not have the Groove Spines upgrade, and now we are going into Hive Tech. Also, we see Colossus being trained in addition to the extended thermal lance range. So if I saw Infestors with Neural Parasite being researched, I would think that he would have a very, very strong advantage. So Revenant may try to decide to go for Neural Parasite, and the addition of, Neural Parasite, and would allow him to gain control of those Colossi temporarily, swinging that damage around very, very quickly. We also see some additional Spine Crawlers now being morphed into play, and now we have a couple of Photon Cannons here. Army-wise, Renson sitting at a 2300 versus a 2150. Renson now trying to fully saturate his this gold mineral expansion as well. So this is going to be give him a very, very large economic lead once again. 53 harvesters compared to 63, as now we see one overseer just suiciding himself into the wrong location at the wrong time. There it goes, and now one Zergling trying to run by, but will not be able to get past those Stalkers there. So now once again we see a very, very large army moving out. Stalkers, Colossi, sentries, two sentries, one Zealot, and this may be enough DPS just because of the sheer unit combination. The extended thermal lance range has been researched, so they will be able to do 30 damage per swipe, as that is 15 times 2. One Overseer now in the air trying to get within position. Stalkers now need to get onto that creep. One Spine Crawler right there, but however that Spine Crawler only with a range of 9 or 7 will not be able to deal that. Zerglings now coming in to fight here. We do see 1 or 2 force fields. A lot of these Queens and Hydralisks unable to fight anywhere. However, those Colossi now just splashing that damage on top of these units here. More and more Hydralisks chomping or spitting their way at those Colossus. One Colossus may get taken down. One Colossus taking down this other second Colossus, not taken down, as these Hydralisks now try to finish off the rest of these fights. Zerglings now coming in, perhaps should try to take down the rest of these Stalkers instead. The Stalkers now getting pecked apart as well. That Stalker down to 5 hit points. There it goes. And now 2 more Colossus are left. One Colossus will be able to walk onto that high ground. So really, really nice, smart positioning and a micro coming in from Renson. So Renson now able to continue to fight with the 1400 mineral army. We do see a lot of Zerglings now coming out to swarm. Broodlings now coming out as well off of that destroyed hatchery, and Roaches coming in. So Roaches, Broodlings, Hydralisks continuing to fight back. Zerglings now trying to pop out. Will they be able to come in and deal enough damage? Zerglings have a very fast movement speed right now. Will be able to perhaps take down that Colossus. That Colossus unable to really fight back at this stage in the game, just because if it stops to take a look, these Roaches and Hydralisks will be able to finish it off. So now a 1925 mineral army versus 1475. Production wise, we now see Ultralisk and a Dark Shrine. Stalker Blink now being researched as well. We got the Walk of Shame happening over here as Revenant throwing down another hatchery. So some long distance mining from these drones. Perhaps these drones should just try to mine from this location for now and wait for it. We do see Evolution Chamber now getting the level 1 claw attack and the level 1 armor attack. And these Hydros perhaps are going to be able to push back over here. I like this play by Revenant. Revenant perhaps will be able to deal damage towards this location here. There is 1 photon cannon, however, so that 1 photon cannon will not be able to get the necessary range to take down these rocks here. Or sorry, the necessary range to take down these Hydralisks, as these Hydralisks now start to peck away with these Needle Spines. Needle Spines now deal 12 damage per attack. We do not see any Glue Spines upgrade. Stalker Blink, and now 2 additional robotics facilities. So this 1 Dark Shrine, if it warps in some Dark Templars here, would be a very, very bad day for Revenant. So Renson now being able to push back there. So the army now trying to re-engage, decides not to re-engage, as we have another pylon over here on the low ground. We do see 1 Overseer and a couple Ultralisks. So these Ultralisks dealing 39 damage per armored per attack. Really, really strong against Stalkers in particular. Stalkers tend to group up very, very close together, and because of that, those Ultralisks with that very, very nice splash damage able to just come in and deal so much damage. Hydralisks able to just come in and finish off this pylon, finish off that cannon, and continue to move out. We do see some Zerglings moving out, Ultralisks moving out as well. Zerglings, however, sacrificing themselves for the greater actually, I don't even think that's a cause. They're just sacrificing themselves, as these Ultralisks need to get in the front here. Overseer and Ultralisks starting to chomp away at these Stalkers. Stalkers very, very smart, trying to blink back. Hydralisks also is continuing to fire back and forth. We should see some Dark Templars in just a moment. However, these Ultralisks now taking a fair amount of damage from the focus fire of these Stalkers, as they're trying to go after some of these Stalkers. Stalkers continuing to blink. More Hydralisks coming in. However, Revenant's army is starting to feel the weight of this war of attrition. Level 1 weapons attack against level 1 armor, and that is it. As these fights continue to go back and forth, down goes another Overseer in the air. 950 mineral army versus 2075. We see an expansion over here on the low ground by Renson. So Renson taking the natural expansion of what would normally belong to Revenant. However, because of these destructible rocks, he's deciding to take it as well. Back over here, we now see these Colossi now trying to take down this hatchery. This hatchery will get taken down very easily. Broodlings may be able to get some damage onto those. No, not enough, not able to deal any real damage, as those Colossus with that 17 times 2, 34 damage per attack, able to slice through those units. Army wise, 2100 versus 2100 versus 3575. Another two Ultralisks now coming back in. We do see some Stalkers coming as well. 1 Ultralisk with that 3 armor trying to slice its way through this army of Colossus, of these Stalkers. Stalkers, however, just holding their ground and letting the Colossus on behind this patch, able to just absorb all that damage. Stalkers now on that high ground, able to start firing at these Overlords. And Renson, now because he's going to lose this expansion, will only be running off of 1 expansion for quite some time. Revenant will only be able to run off of 1 expansion. A lot of idle drones here, and Revenant says GG. So Renson takes a 3-0 lead in this best of 5 series, and takes it all, not even a lead, and wins all 3 games in this best of 5 series. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the VISTA quarterfinals.